This is Exodus 1. These are the names of the sons of Israel who went to Egypt with Jacob, each with his family: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah; Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin; Dan and Naphtali; Gad, and Asher. In all, there were 70 members of Jacob's family who went to Egypt. Joseph was already there. Eventually, Joseph and all his brothers died, as did everyone else who had lived in that generation. But the Israelites had many children and grandchildren. In fact, they multiplied so greatly that they filled the land. Then a new king came to power in Egypt who knew nothing about Joseph. He said to his people, "Look, the people of Israel now outnumber us and are becoming a threat to us. Let's figure out a plan to keep them from growing even more. If war breaks out, they might join our enemies and fight against us. Then they would escape from the country." So the Egyptians made the Israelites their slaves. They appointed brutal slave drivers over them, hoping to wear them down with crushing labor. They forced them to build the cities of Pithom and Ramesses as supply centers for the king. But the more the Israelites were oppressed, the more they multiplied and spread, and the Egyptians began to dread them. So the Egyptians worked the people of Israel without mercy. They made their lives bitter, forcing them to mix mortar and make bricks, and they forced them to do all kinds of field work. They were ruthless in all their demands. Then the king of Egypt gave this order to the Hebrew midwives, Shiphrah and Puah: "When you help the Hebrew women as they give birth, watch as they deliver. If it is a boy, kill him. But if it is a girl, let her live." But because the midwives feared God, they refused to obey the king's orders. They allowed the boys to live too. So the king of Egypt summoned the midwives and demanded, "Why have you done this? Why have you allowed the boys to live?" The midwives replied to Pharaoh, "The Hebrew women are not like the Egyptian women. They are much more vigorous and have their babies before we even get there." So God was good to the midwives, and the Israelites continued to multiply, growing more and more powerful. And because the midwives feared God, he gave them families of their own. Then Pharaoh gave this order to all his people: "Throw every newborn Hebrew boy into the Nile River. But you may let the girls live."